The red alert siren wailed through the command center. Commander Ta looked up from his console, his face tight with worry. It was 2187, and humanity had spread across the solar system. Mars was home to 3 million people. Research bases dotted the moons of Jupiter and Saturn. But Earth was still the heart of human civilization. "Report," Ta said, his voice calm despite the chaos around him. "Sir, Neptune Outpost has sent an emergency signal," said Officer Park. She tapped at her screen. "Unknown vessels entered the system. They're big, sir. Very big." Ta stood up. The command center of Earth Defense Force headquarters buzzed with activity. Screens showed the approaching ships. They were unlike anything humans had built. Black and sleek, they moved faster than should be possible. "How many?" Ta asked. 27 large vessels, sir, and at least 100 smaller ones." Ta walked to the main viewing screen. The vessels were already past Neptune. At their current speed, they would reach Earth in 3 days. "Have they responded to communication attempts?" "No, sir. We've tried all frequencies. They're ignoring us." Ta picked up his secure comm unit. "Get me Admiral Da. Now." In the science wing, Jum stared at the data streaming in from the outer system monitors. Next to him, Sue was running analysis programs. "This doesn't make sense," Jum said. "Their ships don't seem to use any propulsion system we understand." Sue nodded. "And their energy readings are off the charts. Look at this." She pointed to her screen. "Whatever they're using for power, it's nothing like our fusion drives." "Can we at least figure out their weapons capabilities?" Joan asked. "Based on these readings, they could wipe out our entire fleet without trying hard." Joan ran his hand through his short black hair. "We need to tell Ta." 3 hours later, Earth Defense Force mobilized. It wasn't much: 12 battle cruisers, 30 fighters, and 5 defensive platforms in Earth orbit. Against 27 alien capital ships, it was like bringing knives to a gunfight. Ta stood in the war room with the other commanders. The holographic display showed the solar system, with the alien fleet now passing the orbit of Uranus. "We've prepared evacuation plans for key personnel," said General Kim. "Mars colonies are on high alert." "What about civilian evacuations?" asked Ta. "To where? If these aliens want to wipe us out, there's nowhere to hide in the solar system." The doors slid open. June and Sue hurried in, carrying data tablets. "Commander," Jum said, nodding to Ta. "We've decoded some of their transmissions." Sue stepped forward. "They're calling themselves the Concordat. Based on what we've translated, they'd done this before, invaded other solar systems." The room went quiet. "There's more," Joan added. "They're broadcasting a message now, on all frequencies." Ta nodded. "Put it through." The main screen flickered, then showed an alien face. It had gray skin with ridges where eyebrows would be on a human. 4 yellow eyes blinked independently of each other. "People of Earth," it said in slightly accented English, "I am High Commander Frex of the Concordat Expansion Fleet. Your solar system is now under our control. You will surrender all military assets and prepare for integration into our empire." Ta stepped forward. "This is Commander Tai of Earth Defense Force. We are a peaceful civilization, but we will defend ourselves if threatened." The alien made a sound that might have been laughter. "Your defenses are insignificant. We have conquered 17 species more advanced than yours. You have 48 hours to surrender, or we will begin systematic elimination of your outposts, working our way inward to Earth." The screen went dark. General Kim looked at Ta. "What now?" "They're right. Our defenses can't stop them." Ta's comm unit buzzed. The ID showed it was Admiral Da calling from Lunar Command. Tai answered and listened for a moment. His expression changed. "Maybe," he said to the room, "we have something they don't expect." He turned to June and Sue. "I need you two to come with me to Luna. Immediately." "What's on the moon?" asked June. Tay's face was grim but determined. Our real fleet. The shuttle landed on the dark side of the moon. Commander Todd, June, and Sue stepped out into the airlock of what looked like a small research station. Nothing special, just one of dozens of lunar facilities. But appearances were deceiving. "This way," said the guard who met them. They followed him down a plain hallway to an elevator. The guard placed his hand on a scanner. The doors opened. "Going down?" June asked, surprised. "How far down does this go?" "Almost 20 kilometers beneath the lunar surface," the guard said. The elevator dropped fast. Sue grabbed the handrail. Nobody spoke for the 3-minute descent. When the doors opened, they gasped. They stood at the edge of an enormous underground cavern. It was so big they couldn't see the other side. Bright lights hung from the distant ceiling. Below them was the largest military command center any of them had ever seen. "Welcome to Lunar Deep Command," said Admiral Da, walking toward them. She was tall, with streaks of gray in her black hair. Her uniform was different from regular Earth Defense Force, darker, with silver trim. "Admiral," Ta said with a salute, "I brought the scientists as requested." "Good. Follow me." She led them to a massive viewing window overlooking another cavern. This one was even bigger. "What you are about to see is classified beyond top secret," Admiral Daz said. "Only 300 people in the entire solar system know about this." She pressed a button. Huge lights came on in the cavern below. Sue gasped. June's mouth fell open. Even Ta, who had been told to expect something big, was shocked. Below them sat 7 of the largest spaceships ever built by human hands. Each was at least 5 kilometers long. They were shaped like arrowheads, black with red trim. Hundreds of weapons ports lined their hulls. Their engines glowed with soft blue light. "The Titan-class fleet," Admiral Day said with pride in her voice. 7 ships, each with the firepower to destroy a small moon. "How?" June asked. "How did we build these without anyone knowing?" 50 years ago, Earth governments realized we might not be alone in the universe. And if we weren't alone, we might not be safe. So a secret program began. Resources were hidden from public budgets. Asteroid mining operations diverted 10% of all materials. Brilliant engineers and scientists were recruited to work on a project they could never talk about. Day pointed to the ships. "The result is down there. The most powerful fleet humans have ever built." "Why keep them secret from your own people?" Sue asked. "Fear of panic. Fear of protests over military spending. And most importantly, the element of surprise." Dad turned to them. "If our own people don't know about these ships, our enemies won't either." "Until now," Ta said. "You're going to use them against the Concordat." "Yes. And you, Commander Ta, will captain the flagship, the Baekdu." Ta stepped back, surprised. "Me? But I've never commanded a ship that size." "Your tactical simulations are the best in the fleet. Your real-world command experience is excellent. You were always the first choice." She turned to June and Sue. "And we need your scientific expertise on board. The Concordat has technology we don't fully understand." Day led them to another window. This one looked into a massive hangar where thousands of people were loading supplies and weapons onto the ships. "We've been preparing for this moment for decades," she said. "These ships can be ready to launch in 12 hours. The Concordat gave us 48 hours to surrender," Ta said. Day smiled. It wasn't a pleasant smile. "Then we have time to get into position and give them a proper welcome to our solar system." She handed Tai a command chip. "The Baekdu is yours, Captain. Humanity's future depends on what you do with it." Tai looked at the enormous ships below, then at the chip in his hand. "When do we start?" "Now," Daz said. "The Concordat just destroy our Neptune outpost. The clock is ticking." The Concordat ships moved through the solar system like hungry predators. 6 of their medium-sized vessels surrounded the Mars Defense Station. The station's weapons fired, but the beams bounced off the alien shields. Pathetic. High Commander Vrex said from his command chair. Their technology is at least a century behind ours. His second-in-command, Sub-Commander Krill, nodded. They only have 36 hours left to surrender. Should we wait? No, Vrex said. Destroy the Mars station. Show them what happens when they resist. The Concordat ships fired. The Mars defense station exploded in a bright flash. On the Bectu, Captain Todd watched the destruction on the main screen. His hands tightened into fists. That station had 300 people on it, he said quietly. The evacuation ships got most of them out, Officer Park replied. But we lost 42. Tay turned to June and Sue, who were setting up their equipment in the science section of the bridge. How's your research coming? June looked up from his data tablet. Their shields are impressive, but we're finding patterns in how they absorb energy. There might be a weakness. Find it, Ta said. He turned to his navigation officer. Status of the fleet. All 7 Titan ships are in position behind the moon. The Concordat ships can't detect us here. The Baekdu was massive inside. The bridge was as big as a sports field. Hundreds of crew members worked at stations. The ship could hold 5,000 people and enough supplies to stay in space for years. Ta's comm unit beeped. It was Admiral Da. The civilian evacuation from Mars has begun, she said. We're moving people to the underground shelters on Earth too. How long until we engage? Tai asked. Wait until they're closer to Earth. We need them to think they've won. Surprise is our only advantage. The next day, the Concordat destroyed 3 more human outposts. Each time, they gave the humans a chance to surrender first. Each time, the outposts fought back with whatever weapons they had. The results were always the same. In the science lab on the Bectu, Sue made a breakthrough. Captain, come look at this, she called over the comm. Tai arrived a few minutes later. Sue showed him a simulation on her screen. Their shields work by creating a field that absorbs energy and redirects it around the ship, she explained. But the field has to recycle every few seconds. There's a tiny moment, less than half a second, when the shield is weaker. Can we exploit that? Tai asked. June joined them. Maybe. If we time our weapons to hit at exactly the right moment, we could break through. How do we know when that moment is? That's the hard part, Sue said. Each ship's shield cycles at different times. We'd need to analyze each ship individually during battle. Ta nodded. Keep working on it. The deadline was almost up. The Concordat fleet had reached Earth orbit. Their ships formed a ring around the planet. Weapons pointed downward. High Commander Vrex broadcast to every device on Earth. Your time is up. Surrender now, or we begin planetary bombardment. From the presidential palace in New Seoul, the world president sent a reply. Humanity will never surrender to invaders. We have existed for thousands of years. We will continue to exist long after you are gone. Vrex laughed. Brave words from a doomed species. Prepare to fire. Suddenly, Vrex's tactical officer shouted, Commander, energy readings behind Earth's moon. Massive readings. What? Show me. On his screen, Vrex watched as 7 enormous ships moved out from behind the moon. They were bigger than his largest vessels. Much bigger. Impossible, he whispered. Our intelligence said they had no such ships. On Earth, in homes and shelters, people watched their screens as the Titan fleet revealed itself. A message broadcast from the largest ship, the Baekdu. Concordat forces, this is Captain Tai of the Earth Titan fleet. You were warned. Humanity does not surrender. You have one chance to leave our solar system. Now, High Commander Vrex stared at the screen. The human ships were unlike anything he had seen before. They were massive, each one nearly twice the size of his command vessel. Impossible, he said again. Where did they hide such ships? Should we retreat? Asked Sub-Commander Krill. Vrex slammed his fist on his chair. No, we are the Concordat. We have conquered 17 worlds. We will not be scared by a few big ships. He ordered his fleet to attack. 150 Concordat ships turned toward the 7 Titan vessels. On the Baekdu, Captain Ta stood calmly. "They're taking the bait," he said. "All ships, prepare main weapons." The bridge crew worked quickly. Officer Park reported, "All systems ready, Captain." Ta looked at Jun and Su. "Is your shield analysis program ready?" "Yes," Jun said. "It will scan each enemy ship and tell us the best moment to fire." Ta nodded. "Good." He pressed a button on his command chair. "All Titan ships. This is Captain Ta. The enemy outnumbers us, but we have the advantage of surprise and superior firepower. Humanity's survival depends on what we do today. Good hunting." He turned to his weapons officer. "Target the largest Concordat vessel. Prepare the gravitational distortion cannon." The weapons officer's eyes widened. "The GDC. Sir, we've never fired it outside of tests." "There's a first time for everything," Ta said. "Fire when ready." The Concordat ships fired first. Energy beams shot toward the Titan fleet. The beams hit the human ships but seemed to do no damage. "Phase shift armor working perfectly," reported Officer Park. "Minimal impact." "The GDC is charged and ready," said the weapons officer. Ta nodded. "Fire." The front of the Baekdu opened like a flower. Inside was a glowing blue sphere of energy. The sphere shot forward, growing larger as it moved. It hit the leading Concordat ship and passed right through it. Then it hit 2 more ships behind it. All 3 ships twisted and bent like they were made of rubber. Then they collapsed inward and disappeared. On his ship, Vrex watched in horror as 3 of his best warships vanished. "What was that weapon?" he demanded. His science officer looked terrified. "Unknown, Commander. It created a localized distortion in spacetime. The ships were crushed out of existence. Impossible. No species at their level of development should have such technology." The other Titan ships began firing different weapons. One shot what looked like lightning that jumped from ship to ship in the Concordat fleet. Another fired missiles that passed through shields like they weren't there. Vrex had never seen anything like it. In minutes, 20 of his ships were destroyed or damaged. "New battle plan," he ordered. "Focus fire on 1 human ship at a time. All ships target the smallest one." Back on the Baekdu, Tai watched as the Concordat fleet changed tactics. "They're targeting the Hala," he said, referring to the smallest Titan ship. "Captain Rin needs support. Mina, move your ship to assist." Captain Mina's voice came over the comm. "On my way." The Titan ship named Juri moved to help the Hala. Together, they fought off the attacking Concordat vessels. Jun rushed to Ta's side. "Captain, our program has found the pattern in their shield recycling. Sending data to all ships now." Ta smiled. "Excellent. All ships, adjust your weapons timing to the data you're receiving. Hit them when their shields are recycling." The effect was immediate. Human weapons began breaking through Concordat shields, causing real damage. On the main screen, Ta could see the Concordat fleet pulling back, regrouping. "They're surprised," Ta said. "They never expected us to have this kind of technology." Officer Park looked up from her console. "Sir, the Concordat command ship is broadcasting. They want to talk." Ta nodded. "Put them through." High Commander Vrex appeared on screen. His yellow eyes were narrow with anger. "How?" he demanded. "How does your species have such weapons?" Ta smiled coldly. "You made a mistake, Commander. You judged us by what we showed the world. You never asked what we might be hiding." The space around Earth lit up with explosions. The 7 Titan ships moved in a perfect formation, protecting each other's weak points. The Concordat fleet tried to surround them, but the human ships were faster than they looked. "Keep formation," Tai ordered over the fleet channel. Captains Rin and Wan, move to Sector 4. Captains Mina and Kang, cover their backs. The Titan ships responded quickly. Their movements were smooth and practiced, like they had trained for years. In truth, the captains had only trained in simulators. This was their first real battle. On the Bekdu's bridge, Officer Park reported, "Sir, the Concordat is changing tactics again. They're sending in their smaller ships. Hundreds of them." Ta nodded. "They think they can overwhelm us with numbers." He turned to his tactical display. "All ships, activate point defense systems." Thousands of small turrets appeared on the hulls of the Titan ships. They began firing rapid pulses of energy at the incoming small craft. The space around Earth filled with tiny explosions as Concordat fighters were hit. In the science lab, Jun and Sue watched the battle data coming in. "Their technology is advanced," Sue said, "but they're not using it well. They didn't expect a fight." Jun nodded. "They're used to easy conquests. Look at this." He pointed to his screen. "Their ships communicate on a single frequency. If we could jam it, we could cut off their ability to coordinate." Sue finished his thought. She began typing rapidly. "I'm working on it." High Commander Vrex watched another of his cruisers explode under the human attack. He had already lost 43 ships. The humans had lost none. "This is impossible," he growled. "How can they be so prepared?" "Sir," his communication officer called, "we're detecting a problem with our fleet network. The humans are jamming our signals. Switch to backup frequencies." "They're jamming those too." Vrex slammed his control panel. Without communication, his ships couldn't coordinate their attacks. Each captain would have to fight alone. On Earth, people watched the battle on their screens. At first, there had been fear. Now there was hope. The news showed the Titan ships destroying the alien vessels. People cheered in underground shelters as each Concordat ship exploded. The world president watched from her emergency bunker. "Where did these ships come from?" she asked her advisors. "We don't know, Madam President," one said, "but they're saving Earth." Back on the Bekdu, Tao felt the ship shake as it took heavy fire from 3 Concordat cruisers. "Damage report," he ordered. "Minor damage to sectors 12 and 14, Officer Park said. "The phase shift armor is holding, but it can't take this level of fire forever." Ta nodded. "Captain Jin, bring the Tabak around to support us." "Captain Yuri, target the Concordat cruiser on our right flank." The Titan ship Tabak moved to help the Bekdu. The Tabak fired its main weapon, a beam of absolute zero cold that froze and shattered a Concordat ship. At the same time, the science lab sent a message to the bridge. "Captain," Sue's voice came over the comm, "we've found a way to disrupt their engines. Sending the frequency now." Ta smiled. "All ships, new target data coming in. Adjust your weapons." The Titan ships changed their attack pattern. Now they targeted specific points on the Concordat vessels. When hit in these spots, the alien ships lost power and drifted helplessly. High Commander Vrex watched his fleet falling apart. More than half his ships were destroyed or disabled. The rest were fighting without coordination, easy targets for the human Titans. "Prepare my escape vessel," he ordered. "Sir?" Sub-Commander Krill looked shocked. "We can't retreat. The Concordat never retreats." "This isn't a retreat," Vrex snarled. "It's a strategic withdrawal. We'll return with a larger fleet." His ship shook as another hit landed. Alarms blared throughout the vessel. "The humans must have been preparing for us for years," Vrex said. "We underestimated them. A mistake I won't make twice." He looked at the human ships on his screen. They moved with deadly purpose, destroying his once proud fleet. "Order all remaining ships to cover our withdrawal," he commanded. "We're leaving this system." The Concordat fleet retreated past the orbit of Mars, regrouping near Jupiter. Of their original 150 ships, only 73 remained. Many of those were damaged. High Commander Vrex paced on his bridge. "How long until reinforcements arrive?" he asked. 4 days, Commander, his communications officer replied. "The nearest battle group has been contacted." 4 days, Vrex repeated. We must hold position until then. On the Baekdu, Captain Tai received a call from Admiral Da. "Excellent work, Captain," she said. "Earth is safe for now, but we can't let them regroup." "Agreed," Ta said. "We should press our advantage. The Concordat doesn't expect us to attack. I have something that might help." Admiral Da smiled. "Look at your long-range scanners, Sector 7. Tai ordered the scan. What he saw made him stand up in surprise. 5 more Titan-class ships were approaching from the asteroid belt. They were brand new, their hulls still shining. "How?" Tai asked. "Did you think we only built 7? Admiral Da laughed. "We've been constructing these ships for decades. The 7 you command were just the first group ready for battle." Ta felt a surge of hope. With 12 Titan ships, they could do more than defend. They could drive the Concordat out of the solar system completely. In the science lab, Jun studied the data from the battle. Something bothered him. "Su," he called to his colleague, "look at these transmission patterns." Su joined him at his console. "What am I looking at?" "The Concordat ships. They're sending signals toward Jupiter, a lot of signals." "Could they have a base there?" Su asked. "Or reinforcements?" Jun began typing rapidly. "I'm going to scan Jupiter more carefully." The computer worked for several minutes. Then it showed the results. Jun's eyes widened. "We need to tell the captain," he said. Tai stood in the fleet command center on the Baekdu. The captains of all 12 Titan ships were present, either in person or by hologram. "Our plan is simple," Ta said. "We'll divide into 3 groups and attack the Concordat from multiple directions. They won't be able to defend against all of us at once." Captain Minna raised a hand. "What about their reinforcements? Won't they call for help?" "They already have," Ta said. "But we'll finish this fight before their friends arrive." The door opened. Jun and Su rushed in. "Captain," Jun said, "we found something important." He activated the main display, showing a scan of Jupiter. The gas giant looked normal at first. Then Jun enhanced a section of the planet's atmosphere. "There," he said, pointing. "Energy readings, artificial structures." Everyone stared at the display. Hidden within Jupiter's clouds were shapes, large shapes. "The Concordat has a base inside Jupiter," Captain Jin asked. "Not just a base," Su said. "Look at the size and configuration. It's a shipyard." The room went silent. Then Captain Rin spoke. "How long have they been there?" "Based on the scale of the operation," Jun said, "at least 5 years. Maybe more." Tay's face hardened. "They've been planning this invasion for years. They were already in our solar system, waiting." "The good news," Su added, "is that we've detected no additional warships there. The shipyard appears to be building vessels, not storing them." Tay thought for a moment. Then he looked at the assembled captains. "Change of plans," he said. "Captain Rin, you'll lead 7 ships against the Concordat fleet near Jupiter. Keep them busy. I'll take the Baekdu and 3 other ships to attack the shipyard." Admiral Da, watching by hologram from Lunar Command, nodded. "The shipyard is the real prize. If we can destroy it, we'll set back their invasion plans significantly." "It won't be easy," Jun warned. "The shipyard is deep in Jupiter's atmosphere. The pressure there is intense." "Can our ships handle it?" Tai asked. "The Titans were built to withstand extreme conditions," Su said. "But we've never tested them in an environment like Jupiter." Todd looked at the display showing the hidden shipyard. "Then we'll be the first to find out. Prepare for immediate departure. The Concordat has been in our home too long. It's time to show them the door." The Baekdu led 3 other Titan ships toward Jupiter. The giant planet loomed ahead, its swirling clouds hiding the Concordat's secret shipyard. On the bridge, Captain Tai studied the planet. "How deep is the shipyard?" he asked. Jun pointed to the display. "About 200 kilometers into the atmosphere. The pressure there is enormous, almost 30 times Earth's sea level. Can our shields handle that?" They should, Sue said, but we've never tested them under such conditions. Ta nodded. We'll find out soon enough. He turned to his communications officer. Status of Captain Rin's attack group. They've engaged the Concordat fleet on the far side of Jupiter. The battle has begun. Good. That should keep the enemy busy. Ta pressed a button on his chair. All ships, prepare to enter Jupiter's atmosphere. Strengthen forward shields. Switch to silent running. The 4 massive Titan ships changed course, heading directly for Jupiter's swirling clouds. Captain Rin's 7 Titan ships attacked the Concordat fleet with full force. The space around Jupiter filled with explosions and weapons fire. Keep pressing them, Rin ordered her crew. Don't let them detect Ta's group. The Concordat ships fought back hard. They had learned from their earlier defeat and were using better tactics. The battle was fierce, with losses on both sides. The Baektu shuddered as it entered Jupiter's atmosphere. Red warning lights flashed on many control panels. Pressure on the hull is increasing, Officer Park reported. Shields at 70%. Maintain course, Tate ordered. How far to the shipyard? 150 kilometers deeper, Jun said. He and Sue had moved to the bridge for this mission. The ship shook again, harder this time. A loud groaning sound came from the hull. Shields at 60%, Park called out. The other ships report similar readings. Ta watched as the cloud layer grew thicker around them. The Baektu's external cameras showed swirling gas in strange colors. Lightning bolts bigger than cities flashed nearby. No wonder the Concordat hid here, Sue said. No one would think to look in such a hostile environment. How did they build a shipyard in these conditions? Jun wondered. The ship continued to descend. The groaning of the hull grew louder. Shields at 40%, Park said, her voice tense. Captain, we can't go much deeper. We have to, Tay replied. We need to find. There, Jun pointed at the main screen. I'm seeing energy readings ahead. The clouds parted, revealing an enormous structure. It was like a city floating in Jupiter's atmosphere. Metal platforms stretched for kilometers. Construction facilities hung from massive anti-gravity engines. Half-built ships sat in various stages of completion. It's huge, Ta whispered. They've been building an invasion fleet right under our noses. I count at least 30 ships under construction, Sue said, checking her instruments. Some are bigger than our Titans. Tay turned to his weapons officer. Prepare the gravitational distortion cannon. We'll only get one shot at this. Sir, Park interrupted, I'm detecting movement. The shipyard has seen us. Their defense systems are activating. On the screen, parts of the shipyard began to move. Gun emplacements turned toward the human ships. Fighter craft launched from hangars. All ships, attack formation, Tai ordered. Target the central support structures. If we can destabilize those, the whole facility might collapse into Jupiter's deeper atmosphere. The 4 Titan ships spread out, their weapons systems coming online. The Baektu's gravitational distortion cannon began to charge, its blue energy building. Shields at 30%, Park warned. The pressure is still increasing. Hold position, Ta said. We need a clean shot. The shipyard fired first. Energy beams cut through Jupiter's thick atmosphere, striking the Titan ships. The Baektu rocked from the impact. Shields at 20%. We can't take much more of this. Ta gripped his chair, almost ready. Just a few more seconds. The gravitational distortion cannon reached full power. The front of the Baektu opened, revealing the glowing blue sphere. Fire, Tad ordered. The blue sphere of energy shot from the Baektu. It grew larger as it moved through Jupiter's thick atmosphere. When it hit the center of the Concordat shipyard, everything seemed to pause for a moment. Then the shipyard began to bend and twist. Metal platforms folded like paper. Half-built ships crushed inward. A wave of destruction spread from the center outward. Direct hit, the weapons officer shouted. On the bridge, everyone watched as the massive shipyard collapsed. But Tai noticed something strange. Zoom in on that section, he ordered. pointing to a part of the shipyard that was still intact. The main screen focused on the area. Ta sought equipment and technology that looked familiar, too familiar. "That can't be right," he said. "Those components, they look human." Sue moved to his side. "He's right. Those are Earth designs." June checked his instruments. "I'm detecting human metal alloys, materials that only we use." "How is that possible?" Tai asked. "Why would human technology be in a Concordat shipyard?" Before anyone could answer, Officer Park called out, "Shields at 15%. We need to leave now." Ta nodded. "All ships, ascend immediately. But download all the data you can about that human technology." The 4 Titan ships turned upward, fighting against Jupiter's gravity. The shipyard continued to collapse below them, sinking deeper into the gas giant. As they ascended, Sue worked frantically at her console. "I've accessed some of their data files," she said. "Downloading now." June joined her. "Let me help decrypt them." The 2 scientists worked together as the ship shook and groaned around them. Jupiter's atmosphere battered the hull, but the Baekdu kept climbing. "I've got something," Sue said suddenly. "Captain, you need to see this." Ta moved to her station. On her screen were images of meetings between Concordat leaders and a human. "Who is that?" Tai asked. "Director Han of the Earth Defense Council," Jun said, shocked. "These files go back 5 years." More images appeared, blueprints of Earth technology being handed over, plans for defense systems, even Titan ship designs. "He's been selling us out," Ta said, his voice hard. "Giving our technology to the Concordat. That's how they were able to build ships so quickly." "There's more," Sue said. "Communications between Han and the Concordat. He promised to sabotage Earth's defenses when they attacked." "Why would he betray his own people?" Officer Park asked. "Power," Jum said, reading from the files. "The Concordat promised him control of Earth after the invasion. He would rule as their puppet leader." Tay's hands tightened into fists. "We need to warn Admiral Da." The Baekdu and the other 3 ships finally broke free of Jupiter's atmosphere. Their shields were nearly gone, their hulls damaged from the intense pressure, but they had survived. Tai immediately sent an encrypted message to Lunar Command, including all the evidence of Director Han's betrayal. "What about Captain Rin's group?" Officer Park asked. "Check their status," Tai ordered. The communications officer reported, "They've destroyed most of the Concordat fleet. Only a few ships escaped." "Good," Ta said. "Now we need to deal with the enemy at home." On Earth, Director Han sat in his office at Defense Headquarters. His computer showed the defeat of the Concordat fleet. His plans were falling apart. His private communicator beeped. It was his Concordat contact. "The shipyard is destroyed," the alien said. "Your position is compromised." "Impossible," Han replied. "No one knows of our arrangement." The Titan ships found the shipyard. They downloaded our data files. Han's face went pale. "I need extraction. Now." "You failed us," the alien said coldly. "The Concordat does not rescue failures." The communication ended. Han sat in silence for a moment. Then he began deleting files and packing a small bag. He needed to escape before. The door to his office opened. Admiral Da walked in with 4 armed guards. "Director Han," she said, her voice ice cold. "You have much to explain." 6 months after the Battle of Jupiter, Earth had changed. The secret of the Titan ships was now public knowledge. People looked at the sky differently, knowing what lay beyond. Captain Ta, now Admiral Ta, stood on the observation deck of the new Earth Defense Headquarters. Through the large windows, he could see the Baekdu in orbit. The massive ship had been repaired and improved. 11 other Titan ships floated nearby, and 6 more were under construction in the asteroid belt. "Quite a view," said a voice behind him. Tai turned to see Jun and Sue. The 2 scientists were now heads of the Earth Defense Technology Division. "It is," Tai agreed. I never thought I'd see our ships out in the open like this. People needed hope, Sue said. The Titans gave them that. The door opened and Admiral Dai entered. The Council is ready for you, she said. Ta nodded. The four of them walked to the meeting room where the World Defense Council waited. Director Han's empty chair had been filled by a new leader, someone carefully vetted for loyalty. Admiral Ta, the Council President said, "Your report, please." Tai activated the main display. The Concordat has withdrawn all forces from our solar system. Their home fleet remains at their border, watching us. "And the message?" asked one council member. "We received it 3 days ago," Ta said. He pressed a button, and a recording played. High Commander Vrex appeared on screen. The alien looked more respectful than before. "People of Earth," he said, "the Concordat acknowledges your right to exist as a sovereign species. Your defense of your system was impressive. We have not encountered such resistance in 800 years. Vrex paused. "The Concordat tests emerging species. Only those who can defend themselves earn respect in the galaxy. You have earned that respect. We offer a ceasefire and open diplomatic channels." The recording ended. "Can we trust them?" asked a council member. "No," Ta said simply, "but we can talk to them from a position of strength." June stepped forward. "We've learned much from studying their technology. The Titan fleet is now twice as powerful as during the battle." Sue added, "And we've improved our detection systems. No one will build secret bases in our system again." Admiral Dan nodded. "We're also expanding the fleet. By next year, we'll have 20 Titan-class ships, plus smaller support vessels." The council president looked satisfied. "And what of the traitor?" "Director Han is in maximum security," Daz said. "His trial revealed 15 other conspirators. All have been arrested." "Good," the president said. "Now, Admiral Tay, tell us about the diplomatic mission." Ta brought up a new display showing a star map. "The Baekdu will lead 3 Titan ships to the Concordat homeworld. We'll negotiate from a position of strength." "And if negotiations fail?" a council member asked. Tay's face was serious. "Then we show them that humanity is not to be threatened ever again." 2 weeks later, the Baekdu and 3 other Titan ships prepared to leave Earth orbit. They were fully armed but flew under a flag of peace. It was humanity's first official mission beyond the solar system. On the bridge, Tai sat in the command chair. June and Sue stood at their stations nearby. The best crew in the fleet had been selected for this historic journey. "All systems ready, Admiral," Officer Park reported. Ta nodded. "Open a channel to Earth Command." The world president appeared on screen. "Admiral Tai, you carry the hopes of humanity with you. Show the galaxy what we can do." "We will, Madam President." Ta ended the transmission and looked at his bridge crew. "Navigation, set course for the Concordat homeworld." As the Titan ships moved away from Earth, people watched from their homes. Children pointed at the massive vessels, dreaming of one day serving aboard them. The fear of alien invasion was gone, replaced by pride and determination. The Concordat had expected an easy conquest. Instead, they found a species that had been preparing in secret for decades. A species with the will to survive and thrive. A species ready to take its place among the stars. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and they had arrived with a Titan-class fleet.